According to spoilers for the upcoming 2 weeks of The Young and the Restless, which run from March 31st to April 11th, Sally Spectra will not be duped by Phyllis Summers' ruse. While Nikki Newman is faced with a dilemma, Tracy Abbott will also have a dangerous meeting with Martin Lawson, also known as Alan Lawson. Jack Abbott will urge Victoria Newman to inform Victor Newman, with some news, during the week of March 31st to April 4th. If Kyle Abbott and Claire Newman suffer heartbreak as a result of Jack's displeasure, Victor will have to cope with his retaliation. Jack will send Victoria back to the ranch with his warning, because he wants Victor to understand that. Victoria will also make plans to shield Claire and Kyle's romance from any advances Victor could make, whether or not she delivers on her promise. Lily Winters will accuse Damian Kane in the meanwhile, but he will discredit the source of her information and try to persuade Nate Hastings that his intentions are honorable. Lily will eventually assume leadership in some way, so we'll see if she recognizes Victor's manipulation of her, or if she takes another risk against Damian. According to Y&R spoilers, Sally will become irascible when speaking with Adam Newman. Adam's reconnection with Chelsea Lawson may not be important to Sally, but she will be concerned if he continues to plot against Billy Abbott. Billy's thoughts will go to other topics, such as his dubious relationship with Aristotle Dumas, and his desire to regain Chancellor, once Chelsea informs him of her decision to fully reconnect with Adam. When Jack notices that Billy is going into trouble, he will try his hardest to steer his brother in the right direction, even though it might not be successful in the end. Even though Phyllis will pretend to be nice to Sally, the conflict that is developing will not be stopped by that. Sally might feel that Phyllis will be a threat as long as she remains in Billy's sphere of influence. It appears that Sally will be concerned about Phyllis leading Billy astray, and she might also be concerned about the prospect of a romantic reunion. Chloe Mitchell will encourage Sally to resurrect her old strategy and embrace her cunning side. But will Sally actually utilize a cunning tactic against Phyllis? Lauren Fenmore Baldwin will worry about her husband and ask Nikki for assistance in keeping Victor in line, after Victor Newman gives Michael Baldwin some challenging commands. Nikki will have to choose whether to comply with Lauren's request, because she will be urged to betray Victor. It appears that Nikki will make an agreement with Lauren and work behind Victor's back to thwart his goals, which are most likely related to taking down Jabot. Regarding Audra Charles, someone will send her a surprise invitation. It's likely to be Holden Novak, who tries to entice Audra closer with another deft maneuver. Diane Jenkins Abbott will learn about the trap Tracy prepared for Alan, also known as Martin, and she will make some alarming forecasts. Diane might attempt to dissuade Tracy from doing this, but it appears that she will already have made up her mind. But a little later on, Tracy will have some concerns. Tracy might be in danger and start to fear for her safety once she is alone herself with Alan, and begins searching for the truth. Tracy will undoubtedly have some frightening moments throughout the week of April 7th to 11th, as she tries to persuade Alan that she will always love him. Martin might come clean about who he really is and the shameful kidnapping incident. But what will happen if he discovers Tracy has deceived him? Tracy might find herself in a difficult situation as a result, but perhaps Jack or Chancellor can save her. Hopefully, assistance will arrive before things go out of control, because it wouldn't be wise for Tracy to be completely alone in this circumstance. Martin might still have some tricks in his sleeve, though, particularly if he kidnapped Ashley Abbott while he was in Paris. Does Martin intend to use Ashley as a bargaining chip? When Billy and Sally return, they will undoubtedly have to cope with additional difficulties resulting from his Aristotelian dealings and whatever issues Phyllis may cause. There will be more challenges in Sally and Billy's romance, so watch to see if they can overcome them. According to spoilers for The Young and the Restless, the upcoming 2 weeks will be chaotic and full of surprises. According to Monday, March 31st spoilers for The Young and the Restless, Kyle Abbott will confess to Jack Abbott, and Victoria Newman will ask Claire Newman a breakup question. Given Claire's success at Chancellor, Victoria will be praising her at society. Claire will acknowledge that Victor Newman's disapproval is still a problem if the topic turns to her relationship with Kyle. Victoria will question whether Claire believes that the only way to shield Kyle from Victor's wrath is to end their relationship. Since Victoria spent far too much of her life doing as Jordan told her, Claire will reassure her that's not an option. Claire will continue to make her own decisions going forward, but she will continue to worry about Victor's lack of blessing and hope that there is a way to alter his perspective. Victoria will essentially tell her to ignore all the drama and focus on her happiness, even though Claire will point out that Summer Newman doesn't like her romance with Kyle either. Victoria plans to do everything in her power to protect Kyle and Claire's relationship in the interim. Kyle will tell Jack at the sports club that Claire is unlike any other woman he has ever dated. With Summer, Kyle always felt like he needed to prove himself in some manner, but with Claire things are simple. Kyle will be prepared to handle everything Victor throws at them, because he is so happy in his romantic life. Nevertheless, Kyle will be a little concerned that Victor's constant pessimism might wear Claire down. Kyle's greatest nightmare would undoubtedly be Claire leaving, but Jack will have some optimistic predictions. Nevertheless, Jack will come across as a little worried about Summer's possible desire for a reconciliation with Kyle. There will also be some concerns about Victor using Summer to further his goals. On Monday's YNR episode, Jack will run into Victoria after Kyle leaves and ask her to deliver a message to Victor on his behalf. Victor will have to answer to Jack if he hurts Kyle and Claire, and Victoria will mutter to herself that her father must also answer to her. When Kyle and Claire unexpectedly cross paths at the coffee shop, they will fall in love as Claire pursues this romance. He will keep becoming closer to Damian Kane at Nate Hastings' house while they joke with Amy Lewis. As Amy heals upstairs, she will eventually get some sleep, because she won't be feeling well following her therapy. Lily Winters will pressure Damian to reveal his true intentions as soon as she gets there, and the same is true for his boss, Aristotle Dumas. Lily will acknowledge that according to her source, 3 months ago, Aristotle provided Damian with information on her and Devon Winters. Lily will begin to wonder if Damian was already aware that Amy was ill, and that Nate was his half-brother. Damian will clarify that when Nate approached him with a job offer, he just remembered Devon and Lily's names because he had read about them in a business magazine. Damian questioned Aristotle about his knowledge because of this. Damian was unaware that Amy had received such a dire illness, and he was also unaware that Nate was his half-sibling. Damian will insist that someone is deceiving her, but Lily will pretend that her source is more reliable than him. Although Nate will listen to Damian's version of the tale, he will continue to be concerned about any secrets Damian may be harboring. Amy will expect some answers when she comes out of the bedroom to see Damian and Nate fighting after Lily storms out. According to teasers for The Young and the Restless, Nate and Damian will attempt to minimize their altercation, but Amy will insist on hearing the most recent information. Tracy went to Crimson Lights to buy her nephew Harrison a muffin. Given her experience with kidnapping, the novelist was taken aback by Sharon's presence. Sharon admitted to having nightmares to Tracy. Tracy offered to listen. She emphasized that discussing it was beneficial. Sharon offered to sit down and have coffee with them while she was on break. Tracy predicted that Alan would be enraged at Sharon's captor's choice of location, a clinic. Whoever her jailer was, Sharon concluded, had to have some sort of psychology training. Tracy seemed surprised and worried. Sharon denied ever spying on her captor's face when Tracy questioned whether she had. She also doubted that she and Phyllis would get along, and that they would have to solve puzzles. To get their jollies off this manner must have been a monster, Tracy thought. There was more to it, Sharon said. According to her, the captor seemed to know them, and wanted the two women to work out their differences. Tracy told Sharon that she and Alan were engaged when she saw her ring. Sharon stated that she would concentrate on the positive aspects of her and Phyllis's imprisonment. This might be the start of a new relationship, she suggested. According to Sharon, she had nearly died twice, the second time due to a gas attack. Tracy remembered seeing a text about gas leakage on Alan's phone. Sharon had a thought. She wanted to discuss their experience with Alan with Phyllis. Tracy sidestepped the question by saying, "Unfortunately, Alan is in Paris right now." When Alan got back from Paris, Sharon pressed him to make time for them. According to Tracy, Alan would want to assist in any way he could. Sharon said, Alan might be my lucky charm. He should be, Tracy hoped. Tracy concurred that it was necessary to remove the insane person who had abducted Sharon and Phyllis from society. At the Genoa City Athletic Club, Phyllis assured Nick and Summer that she and Sharon would be moving on. They left their fury and hatred on the clinic floor. They don't have to categorize her relationship with Sharon as either friendly or antagonistic, according to Phyllis. Phyllis expressed her displeasure at having allowed hatred and rage to control her life and harm those around her. According to Summer, that didn't make her mother a bad person. According to Phyllis, she and Sharon had to deal with the bitterness of their history. Phyllis remarked, I was used to all the pain. But seeing the truth in myself, I wasn't expecting that. Nick agreed with Summer that Phyllis and Sharon had both suffered from wrath and bitterness. It just took getting kidnapped and almost dying twice to get there, Phyllis stated in reference to her choice to move on. She said that they were only baby steps, and that she was not yet ready to become a saint. Phyllis stated that she won't be at peace until her kidnapper receives their just desserts. She went on to say that Sharon saved Phyllis's life by doing what she had to. As Nick noted, Phyllis also saved her life. According to Phyllis, she had to acknowledge that Sharon was acting irrationally when she set Daniel up. Phyllis was reassured by Nick that she was not alone. Phyllis said that she had no idea how to stop the nightmares. Nick assured Phyllis that everything she did was correct. Phyllis claimed that unless she could face her captors and tell them they didn't win, she wouldn't be able to feel the same way again. Sharon went to the GCAC with Nick, Summer and Phyllis. Phyllis said she was prepared to start a new relationship with Sharon, but Sharon misunderstood a comment she made as she sat down. Nick claimed to have seen hope between Phyllis and Sharon. Sharon reiterated Tracy's worry and recommended that Sharon and Phyllis ask Alan for help. Phyllis agreed with Nick when he said it wasn't a bad idea. Claire and Kyle awoke together in bed. Claire believed she would be late for work because she had overslept. According to Kyle, her supervisor would comprehend. Claire informed Kyle that she had to go because she couldn't go on. It was fortunate that she had clothing with her, Claire noted. She expressed her satisfaction with the way their relationship had developed up to this point. Claire was informed she was unique by Kyle. I have an idea, he said. When Kyle suggested that they call in sick, Claire did not agree. It was difficult for her to resist his charm. Kyle placed a room service order for coffee and breakfast. Claire started a light-hearted pillow fight. Kyle and Claire relished their room service lunch, which included bacon and blueberry muffins. To check in with work, the two grabbed their phones. It was outside of society that Jack and Nikki met. Jack was asked by Nikki how the Abbott house renovation was progressing. Jack assured Nikki that her success at work would make the late Catherine very happy. Nikki is looking for the truth. Jack claimed that although he never missed a chance to scold the mustache, he is not at fault this time. Jack stated that he would deny it if Nikki did it again, but he accepts Victor's final power grab, which knocked Billy to his knees. Jack went on to say that Victor's method wasn't acceptable to him. He acknowledged that if Victor and Jill hadn't perpetrated a prank on his brother, Billy would not be in a better place now. Nikki was taken aback by Jack's gratitude. Jack emphasized that Nikki was Lily's place, and that she was back with her family. Victor, according to Nikki, was allowing her to flourish at Chancellor. Jack claimed that if Victor would just leave Kyle and Claire alone, everything would be even better. Jack proposed that there would be harmony between the families if it occurred. Jack advised Nikki to assist Claire and Kyle in getting Victor to accept them. Nikki claimed that although she was all for promoting real love, she would be the one to suffer Victor's anger if everything fell apart. Jack pondered how long Nikki had been afraid of Victor's anger.